Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all to our event here today. My name is Don Goodmanson. I'm the Dean of the Monfort College of Business. I want to welcome you all to our first professional experience seminar today. It's great to have you all here today. It's really exciting to have this many people in the room that are excited and interested in hearing about our internship opportunities that we have as a part of that program. I just want to give you just a little bit of background about why this is happening. Part of the philosophy that we have at the Monfort College of Business is to try to give our students as complete an experience as we can, an educational experience in business. And as part of that, we give them the book knowledge in the classroom, obviously. But we really want to get them to apply as much as they can before they graduate. And I tell students from the day that they come as prospective students that one of their goals is to build their resume. And as part of that, we want them to get out and get experiences in real business. Whether it's classroom opportunities, because I know we have opportunities in some of the marketing classes with State Farm, Wells Fargo. We also are right now, one of our marketing research classes is working on a project for the city, gathering data to analyze some marketing data. So those types of projects are wonderful. We bring a lot of speakers into class. But the part that's still missing is to get them out and to get them that professional touch so that they're a little more refined when they actually go out to interview for a full-time job. Now, I worked at a different institution before coming here. I came here about 5 years ago. And at that institution, we implemented a required internship for all of our business students. And so when I brought the idea here, it's something that we've been working on for a few years to make it fit our culture, to make it fit our organization. So every one of our business students has to get out and do something that we consider a professional experience. Most of it's going to be internships. Alexa is going to tell you all the details in a few minutes, and you can ask a lot of questions of us this morning during this session and into the afternoon if you have that many questions, and we'll try to answer everything we can. We've put some structures in place to make it what I think is as easy as possible on your end. And it's really up to you. It's your internship experience. It's yours. You're going to bring the students in. You're going to interview them. You're going to decide which students you want to have in those positions. But it really gives the students a tremendous experience, and it really completes, in many ways, I believe, their educational experience in our program. So we're excited to have you here today. Alexa's prepared a bunch of slides, so I'll turn it over to Alexa Williams, who is the director of our professional experience program. She works for us half-time and for career services the other half-time. So I will turn it over to her, and she's the real contact person. You can contact the dean's office as well, because we'll forward everything to her. But she's the person to talk to about all of the questions you have, and how to get it set up, and how to get your company's name listed, get your internship opportunities listed, etc. So, Alexa, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. We're going to start off with just a quick little video clip of the Monfort College of Business, so you can get a feel of what the culture is in MCB. Yeah, if you want to hit the lights, and then we'll get rolling.
There's a ton of things that would be fun about going to college. It'd be fun to live on my own.
The thing I won't miss about having Seth at home is
Oops, sorry.
I think as a first generation, it's my responsibility to give the example to my cousins, to my sisters, and to my family members.
It was always in her mind to go to college, and she wants to go to UNC.
She's probably looking forward to experiencing life, out of the nest.
I will definitely miss my bed the most.
And probably someone to do her laundry.
Definitely not going to miss my older sister. When I was thinking about coming to MCB,
I was a little scared, but when I left, I felt good about myself and I felt really well prepared for the workplace.
The school, I think, is an optimum size. Big enough to have a lot of opportunities, small enough to get genuinely involved.
The one building on this campus for all of our students to study in gives them an opportunity to really interact in a variety of ways.
Campus life is the absolute best. It's just so much energy and fun people, and our campus is gorgeous.
The students know one another. You see them in the hall, they're going out to lunch together. It's not I come to campus and then I go back, or I'm in a building with thousands of people that I don't know.
I was surprisingly shocked at the dining hall. Actually, it was unbelievable. I mean, the food was really good.
The atmosphere within the community on just your floor that you live on is great. You get to know everybody on the floor.
If you go inside MC, I don't know, it just seems like it's a cut above. Not to be cocky or anything about it, but I do think that it's kind of a class of its own.
The classrooms are the perfect size.
Our average class size runs around 30 students. The faculty-student connection is extremely important.
Our graduate successes are our successes, and our reputation rides on what they accomplish.
I know that all of my faculty are putting in a good word for me. They're talking to the recruiters saying, hey, look out for Kara. And so I know that they're fully vested in helping me to get a job and that I'll be able to maintain contact with them.
I don't know of any other students who've come from other schools to our firm who have that kind of a relationship with the professors.
You know, I really got to know them. They got to know me when I was going through good times, bad times. They've become almost like a family. I spent more time with the faculty and at the College of Business than I did at my sorority house with my friends.
Our new dean has insisted that we need to have a professional experience component for all graduating students from MC. It really gives a professional slant of discipline. So I think it's great that we are able to do that.
We do have a significant number of students that study abroad, but this is one of those experiences that really can help to set them apart.
We have a senior level finance class called the Student Managed Investment Fund, and they manage a real dollar portfolio. $1.2 million is where it's at now.
Our investment class was competing in international competition, and I took first place in the undergraduate competition.
Monfort College of Business is a Malcolm Baldrige Award recipient.
After I graduated from MCB, I felt really confident in myself, in my skills. I've had lots of advice from professors about how to network, how to connect with people, and they really try to integrate you into the networking and the professional environment outside of school.
Students are so well prepared. We've hired at least one student, one graduate a year for the last 8 years. It's just a joy to have. Joy to have somebody in the working with us.
The opportunity is immense.
You're pushed to another level.
You're gonna throw everything at you, but if you can weather the storm, the knowledge that you gain is just, it's priceless.
Okay, can you hear me okay? I'm always afraid when I first turn this on it'll be really loud. Thank you all again for coming. As Dawn mentioned, my name is Alexa Williams. I'm the Professional Experience Coordinator, so I'm putting together this program. I will be your main contact if you do have any questions and are interested in one of our students. So a card, you'll find one of my business cards inside the folder that you have. So I've put together a quick PowerPoint presentation to talk a little bit about our program, what you all can do on your side if you're interested in having a student, and then we'll open it up for questions. So we'll start with that. If anything comes up, if you have any questions as we go along, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so as Dawn mentioned, there's a new requirement for all Monfort College of Business students to complete a professional experience prior to graduation. So this is a work experience that students have to do. They have to be out in the field, It's a minimum of 50 hours on site. Of course, we're encouraging more. The goal is to tie in classroom knowledge to the real world for the student, so that the student comes out more prepared with soft skills and professionalism skills. Students will be registering for a 0 credit course on our end, and they will be receiving a satisfactory or unsatisfactory grade. Students are encouraged to seek their internship opportunities in the area that they are concentrating on. So as you can see here are the different majors that are offered in Monfort College of Business. So students will be looking for opportunities in accounting, computer information systems, finance, management, marketing, and general business students can select from any one of the majors for their area of professional experience. You can also see some of the minors that are offered, and we have a master's in accounting as well at MCB. So some students might have a combination of a major and a minor. So we really believe that this program is going to benefit not only the students, but also employers, UNC, and the community as a whole. For you all as employers, you'll have access to students and to faculty knowledge and expertise. This is also a great opportunity for future employment or employee recruitment. So this can save costs for you. And kind of an extended interview, I guess, for an intern as well, right? Like Dawn had mentioned earlier, students gain the soft skills that they tend to be lacking when they come out of businesses, schools of business in general, and real-world experience. Our goal is really to partnership and build relationships with you all as a community and as businesses. We feel that our students are going to be much more marketable after completing this professional experience requirement. MCB is the only business school within the state of Colorado that has this requirement for their students. So we really feel that that puts our students at an advantage and gives them the edge when they graduate. We're not just going to send our students out there and say, hey, best of luck to you. We have 2 required prerequisites that every student must complete before that student can go out and even start looking for his or her professional experience or internship opportunity. One of those is a resume workshop where the student will learn how to put together a basic resume and what should be involved in there. The other is a professionalism/interview workshop, so students understand what professionalism means, proper attire, what to expect in an interview, and how to prepare for that. There's a copy of the, inside your folders on the right-hand side, there's a packet that you all received. Some of the information I'm giving follows along in there. The very last page of the packet is a copy of the procedure that the students are going through. That's more of an FYI for you so you can see what the students have to do on their end. And that'll be the very last page of the packet. So if you're thinking of an intern and want to know, well, what do I do? What is that process? What might that look like? A few guidelines that we've established on our side that might be helpful, I'll walk you through right now. The first is defining needs and establishing goals. So what is it that your company or organization can teach an intern? Again, interns, our goal is that they're bringing value to your organization as well, right? And they're not an expert in that subject. They're still a student and they're still learning, so they'll still need some support. So what is it that your organization can teach this intern? Do you have the proper support and resources for the student? So support being, is there a mentor or a supervisor that can be assigned to the student? Resources, is there enough space, computers, whatever you might need? Thinking about specific coursework or skills that you would need from the student can also help, because eventually you'll want to create a job description. So this can also help clarify and define what you'll be putting in the job description. So thinking about what your student will be doing. Will this be a paid or unpaid opportunity? Other things to think about too, oh, I feel like I just got louder, sorry. Other things to think about too is, are there different meetings that the student can observe? Or can they shadow? That can be part of an experience as well too. Or a tangible project that the student could actually work on and walk away with to put on his or her resume, maybe as part of our portfolio. comes to payment, students are not able to accept scholarships as a form of payment because that interferes with their financial aid. So it has to be either a paid or unpaid opportunity. We encourage paid opportunities if possible, even if it's a minimal amount, just because research shows that both sides are more engaged and involved when payment is involved. And I know it's not always possible. We also ask too that students are not treated as gophers. So we really want this to be a meaningful experience where they're tying their upper division courses. Ideally, the student will be completing this experience their junior or senior year. So we really want them to be tying their knowledge from the classroom to your organization and vice versa, bringing back what they're learning from you all into the classroom. So we ask that the student isn't just running errands, doing cold calls, filing. Yes, that might be part of it, absolutely, and that that's not the entire experience for the student. A few other things to just think about on your end as the employee. Thinking about whether you'll need a non-disclosure or intellectual property agreement signed, basically confidentiality between you and the student. Workers' compensation, similar to HIPAA, in the health side there's something called FERPA in higher education. So we have to respect the student's confidentiality and privacy, which also comes to me and what I can share with you about the student. So, as I mentioned earlier, step one would be thinking about your needs of the student and what you can give the student, and then developing a clear job description. So in this job description, you want to be as specific as possible regarding the duties and qualifications needed. So again, really thinking about, okay, what do I need from the student? How can I help this student? And coming up with a very clearly defined job description. This will help the student because every student has to come to me and propose what they're going to be doing for their professional experience. All the different department chairs have given a list of what they consider acceptable and not acceptable for a professional experience. So it will be off of the job description that I'll be giving the student a thumbs up or thumbs down. So really developing that will be key. Then you'll want to create a profile and post all of your opportunities on UNC's university-wide job and internship board. It's called Bears Career Connection, and it can be found on the Career Services website. And there's more information and links to that in the packet too that you all have. This profile, basically when you log in, you can upload your internship opportunity, and it's available for all students to see across campus. So you'll want to do that to really get the marketing. You'll want to start early and be visible. Begin your search about 2 to 4 months before you actually need the intern in your office. Also keep in mind that Career Services holds job and internship fairs on a regular basis. In fact, there's even one today, right after this, if you all are attending. So keep that in mind. That's a great way to be visible to students and to present your company and your opportunities that you might have and to recruit. You can also have information tables or information sessions as well. So if you're interested in any of that, as Dawn mentioned, half of my foot is in Career Services, my other foot's at MCB. So I'm happy to help you get all of that set up through Career Services as well and get you connected. When it comes to thinking about what the school year looks like, as far as what is the fall semester, what is the spring semester, what does the summer look like, if you wanted a fall intern, you can see the date. They would be about August or November-ish. Spring interns, you can see January, February to May. Summer, May, June to August. So that gives you a timeline of when students are around and when they're not around. You'd want to start recruiting the semester prior to when you're looking for a student. So if you wanted a student in the fall, probably start recruiting that spring prior to would be a great idea. It's hard to engage students during the off season, which that's going to be the summer. They're just not around, so there's not a lot of traffic in Bears Career Connection. It's just a little harder to engage them. And during winter break, which is the last half of December, first part of January. So keep that in mind. When it comes to the duration of the internship, that's really up to you as an organization and what you all need. Students are required to do a minimum of 50 hours. We are encouraging much more. So ultimately, how long you would like your internship or the professional experience opportunity to be is up to you and based on your needs. So once you have found an intern, gone through, like Don mentioned, the intern will go through the hiring process with you. As far as turning in the resume, you all interview the student, you choose who you want in your organization as an intern. So once you've made an offer and a student has accepted the offer, there's something called a Student Employer Professional Experience Agreement form. It's also in that packet, and I'll show you where all this is located on our website too, all these forms. Basically, this is just an agreement between you all as the employer and the student as to the parameters of the internship. So again, going over the job description, making sure expectations are properly set and clear. This is also for you as the employers to know that the student has successfully completed the 2 required prerequisites. And it's also for you to know too that the student is in good standing with the university. Part of what we're going to ask from you all as employers, which is why a supervisor or a mentor that can provide consistent feedback would be ideal. Every student is required to turn in a midterm evaluation and a final evaluation at the end of his or her experience. This is how the student is actually going to get the grade of satisfactory or unsatisfactory, so it's vital that these forms get turned in. So that'll be what we will ask of you. The forms and everything will be located on our website, which again, I'll get to that, and it'll also explain how to turn those in. So it's up to the student to track the midpoint of his or her experience. I don't have enough time to do that and know where everyone is in the different lengths. So it's up to the student to make sure that they're working with their mentor or supervisor in getting that midterm evaluation turned in and the final one turned in. And again, finally, it's also an understanding that the student is completing this for a graduation requirement. For the copy of the form, I'd ask that the original would come back to me, and as employers, you all can keep a copy of it too. I'm going to find a way, hopefully, to have the evaluations just submitted through the website. So when it comes to orientation and what to do with a student when he or she first arrives, again, really looking at a supervisor or a mentor, someone that can provide consistent feedback to the student and really help teach and support this student. Of course, providing the student with necessary information about the organization, logistics such as dress, hours, parking, restrooms, basic things like that. Setting proper expectations for the student, what you expect of them from the get-go will really help for a successful experience. Again, talking about those evaluations, the student has to have a midterm evaluation completed and then an end of term evaluation completed. And it is up to the student to track that, and that can all be found on our website. We also encourage too, as employers, if you're open to feedback from either students or working with us as far as how to improve your program. We're here for that too. So you've heard me mention this website over and over and over again, right? And I keep saying I'll get to it. Well, here it is. All of the information that we're reviewing today, even this packet is on there. The website, as you can see, is mcb.unco.edu/professional experience. And I encourage you to look on the left side. It's kind of blurry and hard to see, but there's a For Employers tab. And that's where you'll find a lot of this information. We'll put frequently asked questions up there too, as they start to be asked frequently. We'll start compiling those and put those up there as well. If you can't find what you're looking for or have any questions or concerns as you're going through this website, please do not hesitate to contact me. So just a couple takeaways here as we wrap up. Our goal is to really build a strong and lasting relationship with you all as employers. We're going to have hundreds of students every semester out looking for experiences. So we really want to build a strong relationship with you all to keep interns flowing. So we're here to assist in any way possible. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Please contact me immediately too if anything arises on the site, if you're having any issues with the intern too. Let us know and we'll work it out. I'm always happy to have phone conversations, happy to meet in person, come out to the site, whatever you all need, just communicate with me. So thank you again for your time and interest in our students. I really appreciate you all coming out today with the weather and everything too. It's great to see a full room. My contact information is also up here. Like I said, one of my business cards is in that folder that you all received too. With that, I'd like to open the floor to any questions and see what you all are thinking. Yeah.
For the internship posting, is it going to be a different website than we've already posted internships for UNC before?
No, it'll be the same.
It's the same one, okay.
Yeah, so the question was if it's going to be a different website that these internship opportunities will be posted on, and it will be the same. You might have heard the term Career Services Online, CSO. It's that same. Students here know it as Bears Career Connection. On the employer side, you might see it as Career Services Online. Same process. Yeah?
I actually have a question for the whole room and the other business owners. How many people in here have actually been interns or college students previously to this program?
So the question was how many people have used interns or had interns previously? Yes, sir.
How many interns would be available per semester approximately?
Probably at least 200, approximately. Right now, because this is such a new program, our current juniors and seniors right now are not required to complete this requirement. So right now it's a freshman and sophomore, but every year we're taking on that next freshman class as being required. So eventually we'll have several hundred. It all depends on the student's timing for when they want to complete the experience. But we'll have a lot out there.
Yeah, we have 400 to 500 students that are juniors and seniors virtually all the time. Right, you know, our enrollments vary a little bit, but in general, it's about 400 to 500 students each semester, each year. So it's a large number of students. That's what we're looking for the opportunity. That'd be pretty cool.
Alexa, which majors or areas? Can you repeat the question with your microphone so we can hear?
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Which major or areas do you mostly have a larger group?
So the question was, correct me if I'm wrong, what area of concentration has the most students in it?
The areas that have right now, marketing, management, and accounting are our largest enrolled groups. Finance would come after that, and CIS is the lowest number. So.
You have a question?
So, what did you say about credit being offered? Is there credit for any amount of hours or?
So the question was regarding around if credit is offered for any amount. So if students, for the professional experience requirement, it's a 0 credit course that they're enrolling in. However, if the students can receive credit for their internship, depending on the length of the intern, they actually work with their faculty advisor on that piece to receive, they would receive 3 credits. That 3 credits in that internship experience would also count as their professional experience requirement as well. They don't have to go out and do one of each. So the professional experience is just a minimum of 50, encouraging more, and then students can work with their faculty advisor if they want to pursue credit for the opportunity. Those are usually a little more in-depth internships, and a little more extended than just what 50 hours would be, a quick project.
And again, I guess just basically the 50 hours, it's just a very minimum. Don't think that that's what you have to structure it as. It's up to you to structure your internship the way you want it to be in your organization as well as the students. So don't think of that as a constraint. It's just that if it's shorter than 50 hours,
wanted to clarify, as employers, should we open up the internship for just juniors and seniors, or sophomore, freshmen? Who should we be recruiting?
So the question was, as employers, should we be recruiting just juniors and seniors, or should we open it up to freshmen through seniors? And again, that's really going to be based on the needs that you want. As far as the timeline for students, we're recommending their freshman year, they attend a student information session, so they can at least, I basically just walk them through the process, which again is that last page in your packet that they have to go through on their side. Then based on their timeline, the student can take the workshops either maybe their sophomore or junior year. So they would be doing the resume workshop and the professionalism/interview workshop, and then completing their professional experience either their junior or senior year. So ideally they'll be doing it their junior and senior year, and there's no strict line there. I think ultimately, again, it comes up to you all as an organization and what your needs are.
I think also you have to think about students don't really get into business classes until late sophomore year. And so if you're going to have an intern for marketing, they're not taking a marketing class until they get to junior year probably, depending on the credits that they come in with. So most of the time it would be juniors and seniors that would be most advantageous and would fit best with whatever type of position you might have. So that's why we usually, for the most part, target juniors and seniors. Try to get them ready in the freshman, sophomore year so that then the junior, senior year, when they have some knowledge base, they can actually go out and be of more value to you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there a general average kind of pay range that you see for the interns?
So the question was a general or average pay range that we see for interns. And I'm going to leave that at Renee. I don't know if you can speak to that?
It really varies depending on the company. I'd say anywhere between like minimum and $10 to $12 an hour would be typically what I would see on a internship posting from an employer.
I think that that's pretty typical, but it really depends on the industry and the company. Some companies have higher paying jobs, some are paying $20 an hour, but that's not the norm. So it's really up to you. I just want to emphasize that paying for the internship is really important. The students are busy, they work oftentimes other jobs, and if they have to give up this other job to do this internship time, it's hard for some of them financially to be able to do that. You know, the cost of education keeps going up, tuition keeps going up, books, everything costs more. So for them, for many of our students, they have to work to do it. In addition, if you're really thinking about the internship experience as a potential way to bring in a new employee, to me, it's an opportunity for you as a company to interview this student for a long period of time to decide if this is somebody you might want to have in your organization. And they, on the other side, as a student, get to kind of get the feel of the organization, see the people, meet the people, and think about whether they want to be in it. So if you think of it as an extended interview process as well, I think that you want to create the best impression, and that always helps if you're paying them for the value that they're providing to your company while they're there. And we want you to put them in positions where they're providing value. You know, we want them to learn, but they should also be providing some value in that exchange as well. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Since they'll be taking place during the spring and fall semesters, should we be expecting them to also be enrolled in other classes that could affect the schedule that they would have during their internship?
Great question. So the question was, if we're offering an internship opportunity for a student during the spring or fall semesters, can we expect that student to be enrolled in other classes that might affect that individual's schedule with your organization? Most likely, yes. The student will be enrolled and perhaps have other jobs. So if you are able to be flexible with your hours with the student, that would be ideal.
I think it'll depend what sort of internship you structure. But for the students to continue to advance their education, they're going to need to be enrolled in some classes while they're doing that. That may mean that they enroll in classes that they can take in the morning, they work in the afternoons. It's really flexible for you to work out with those students, and you can kind of post your listing for your internship and say, here's what we're looking for, here's when we need the person, here are the hours we would like for them to work, here's the length of time, etc. It doesn't necessarily need to be contained in a semester. You know, we operate on semesters because that's the way our courses are structured, that's the way everything's structured here. But the internship, it can be summer, it can be fall, it can be any time, it can overlap, etc. So it can fit whatever schedule you need in terms of creating the experience and whatever value you're trying to get out of it.
I think something that would be as equally important to other business owners as it is to myself is if our educated youth staying here in Greeley and building our community, or are they flooding out across the United States, or the majority of them, and building other communities? Has UNC ever tracked how many of our educated kids stay here and help us grow?
So the question was, does UNC track how many students actually stay in Greeley after graduation versus leaving Greeley?
I would say no, they haven't tracked it very accurately. First of all, when students leave, as many of you who graduated from college, how many of you are in contact with your college and university? Do they have your current address? Because unless you have contacted them to make sure they can get that, oftentimes that gets away from them. So what we do know is that a lot of our students are first generation students that come from around this area, from within 50, 60 miles of Greeley, and many of them do want to stay in Colorado. So right now, our estimate that I've received from the foundation and the other alumni offices is that we have about 15,000 alumni for the College of Business, and about 9,500 of them are somewhere in the front range, primarily in Colorado. So a vast majority of them do stick around in the communities around us. Whether they're exactly in Greeley, I don't know that I can say that we have an exact knowledge of that.
Other questions?
Can an internship structured so that 25 hours are done in 2 weeks?
So the question was, can an internship be structured so that pretty much 25 hours a week, so that the 50 hours can be done in 2 weeks? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Again, it ultimately comes down to your organization's needs and what all you have going on. So if there's a specific project that you believe you can offer 50 hours up for a student to gain that experience, to break it up into 2 weeks of 25 hours, absolutely would be appropriate.
Again, I would encourage you to think longer term than just 2 weeks, 50 hours. That's really a minimum, just to make sure that people don't try to do something less.
Yeah.
What would be the ideal amount of hours per week, would you say, when you look at the students if they do have a full load in school and things like that? Is there any recommendation you have?
So the question was, what would be the ideal hours to schedule a student at the internship opportunity per week? Again, I think that's really going to be what you all need, and up to each individual student too, as far as what's going to fit their schedule. So I would really create the intern around your internship, around what you all need as employers, and then put it out there, and the students that it fits with will come and will match up. So really, or if you can even say on the posting, you know, flexible with hours, something like that too. If your organization is able to be flexible with hours and work with the student based on his or her schedule, that's absolutely acceptable too. So it's really up to you.
But I would suggest that 10 to 20 hours is a reasonable time. You know, 10 hours makes you feel like you're getting something of value from the student. 20 hours wouldn't impede that much on the student. Many of our students work at least that much anyway in their regular job that they work. So I think that's a pretty reasonable amount of time just to think about.
Any other questions at all?
I have a question. I'm just curious. How did you decide on 50 hours as the minimum?
So the question was, how did we decide as 50 hours as the minimum? And I'll let you take that, Don.
We had a lot of input from a variety of different sources, including a number of our faculty who had opinions on what it should be. If you look at 4-credit ones, they usually have 70, 80 hours for credit. So because it's 0 credit, we figured the minimum should be lower than that. And, well, you know, a lot of discussion with a lot of people, and kind of all came to an agreement that a minimum of 50 made sense. But other than that, it's just, you could go and put a different group of people together and then come up with a different number. So.
Any other questions? Yes.
I arrived late, but our question is, I'm with an early stage company that surgery and simulation products, and an intern to me would be somebody that has a specific interest in entrepreneurship, because of the nature of our company. What categories of degree would fit best with that? Do you have a program?
Yeah, we have a program. We have a minor in entrepreneurship, and we're actually in the process of changing our management major to have 2 tracks, one be entrepreneurship and the other be HR, human resources. So we have a very active group of entrepreneurship students in the minor program, which would be very much aligned with what you're asking for. And actually, I didn't talk about this before, but we're actually in the process of creating a small business incubator that will be attached to the campus and our college, and we'll be running it. So we're in the process of hiring a director for it right now, and it will be housed right across the street from our building, our business buildings there. So we hope to have a lot of our students in that and interning and getting involved in that as well. So I think that it's easy to find students for that.
And kind of with that question, so our internship program is open to all majors. So if, for instance, a marketing student wants to do our internship, even though we're a financial network, so typically it would fall under finance, would that still count for their internship experience, or does it have to be in their line of major?
So the question was, if a student is seeking an internship different than their area of concentration, is that?
Yeah.
We encourage students to seek their internship opportunity in the area that they're actually studying, because ideally that is where their passion lies and where they're hoping to find a career beyond UNC. So the skills they would gain in finance, in a finance career, that would be ideal. Now, if a marketing student wanted to work at a finance firm, but maybe doing some marketing stuff, that would be acceptable. So I think it's really going to come down to what the student would be doing and how that aligns with the student's career goals. So if I had a student sit down with me and say, hey Alexa, I'm marketing, and I'm also interested in maybe entrepreneurship, or I have this other desire for nonprofit, we can be creative. If this student finds an opportunity, that will absolutely count. Is that? Mm-hmm. Any other questions? We have a few minutes left.
Where's the job and how long is that today?
Yep. So the job and internship fair is today. It's from 1 to 4 p.m. in the ballrooms, which are just here on this main floor as well. So we have employers that are in setting up right now, and many students to come. So you're welcome to come and walk around and check it out. And we offer them every semester, so we'd love to have you. Yes?
I just have a follow-up question. I know that DOLA, the Department of Local Affairs, works with UCD and CU to help offset costs for the Best and arthritis program. I was just wondering, is that something UNC is considering working with a different funding source to help offset long-term costs for interns?
Help offset?
The long-term cost of interns.
We haven't talked about that.
I just, CU does it, it just seems like UNC should be.
We'll check into it. Any other questions? If not, I want to just thank Alexa for spending the time up here and going through everything. And you've got a lot of information. Feel free to take it back, process it, get in contact with us if you have any questions. Again, for those who came in late and I didn't introduce myself to you, I'm Don Goodmanson, the Dean at the Monfort College of Business. So you're all welcome to come and visit our facility anytime. We'd be happy to give you tours and show you around the place. We're pretty proud of the facility we have. It's just a couple minutes away from here. So please feel free to stop by anytime. With that, you're free to go. It's like a class.